Good afternoon, traders. It's Simon here with your weekly review of Aussie dollar, pound yen, and euro dollar. So this week I'm going to show you two dollar charts which say two different things, but overall I do think the dollar may increase a little bit of strength this week at the start of it to actually tumble down afterwards. So on the DXY we have, you could be fooled to say, hey look, it's a bullish setup, double bottom on the daily chart, couple of tweezers and low tests on the weekly chart, with the weekly 50 MA just being tested here and this area here, and obviously in the past a few times. And I totally agree with you there, it does look bullish, and RSI is at 0, so I'd say, hey, next leg up, let's buy the dollar. But obviously before we go into that, there's your double bottom pattern on the daily chart, 95.5. So I can understand if you say let's go and buy the dollar, it makes loads of sense. But then I show the US dollar index and we're making lower lows on the daily chart. And that's the problem here, you see guys. Although the weekly has tested this weekly 50 EMA and the key level of 12.1, if we've had a breakout of this rising wedge for some time, I can't see realistically how this would really be a good pullback. I don't think you've done much in the market. I can see the technicals saying that a 618 pullback, this, that and the other, but I just want to see a bit more confirmation than that, to be honest with you guys. So that is what I'm going to look for. So let's now look at how that could transform on the lower time frames. On the DXY, this is what I've done. I've got two trend lines in two areas here. This is the most recent trend line, which is just highlighting the move down, and it does look like we just popped up to the upside, but that would be on super low volume. So I'll just wait for the confirmation on that. If we break this area here, just this area around here, we've got 96 and this longer term downward sloping trend line, then I would say break up, come down, then move back up afterwards. Totally agree. But for me to change my bias from being short the dollar to long the dollar, it has to break this downward sloping trend line here. That's what I'm looking for. On the US dollar index, as you can see, we've not had no indication whatsoever of a trend change. We're making lower highs, lower lows all the way through. So this is where I get my idea, where I'm going to think, well, hold a minute, it could be one or the other. I don't want to risk it. Let's just see what happens in the marketplace. So let's now look at the Aussie dollar itself. And what I see here so far is no real significant pullback here. A very twisted double bottom pattern. You could say it's an inverse head and shoulder pattern on the daily as well. It's very, very twisted. But when we do look at the lower time frames from the daily downwards, you'll see something significant here. The daily 50 MA has been trending down quite nicely. We've chopped through it a few times, and now we broke back up above it again quite nicely. Now, if we move lower to test the daily 50 EMA over the next couple of days, we also test something nice on the 4-hour chart as well. And that would be the 4-hour 50 EMA. So the 4-hour 50 EMA is lying within this box as well at 72 area. So we move back down here. We've had a decent up, then come down, up again, then come down again. Let me show the Fibonacci. So here we are. There's your first wave up, move up, pull back down 0.5, okay? Then the second wave, after we pull back to the 0.5, we move back up again. And another pullback down again does suggest another test of the 0.5 Fibonacci area. So that to me is still bullish, and that means the DXY chart is only geared because of how the European market is, not the overall general market itself. So this is why I'm more inclined to believe the US dollar index right now and not the DXY just as of yet. So let's now look at the euro dollar, and the euro dollar itself has been struggling, to be quite honest. It broke down, it's moved back up. It hasn't really done nothing significant massively really as such. We're still going to have this upward sloping trend line, which is, I still believe, in place. I mean, if we break these lows here, then yes, we are definitely going to a bear market for the euro and start the new bear market. But if you look across the other euro pairs itself, so for instance, euro Aussie, for example, although it's trending downwards, that to me could be this could be a rejection here at the moment, and we're not really too sure what's happening. If you look at euro pound, for example, again, you've actually, on the daily chart here, you've moved down, tested the area of 8695, and looks like it's rallying back up again. So you may get a little euro move down lower, which does indicate the dollar long for the moment, and then obviously towards the end of the week we may get a euro bull come out again, and that will obviously mean the US dollar did break down a bit more. And that does make sense as well there. So obviously I'm sitting on my hands for the moment to see what really happens, but there's not much really to say about the euro at the moment, except for I look at the weekly chart and think, well, all this indecision here, something's got to happen. I've gone long for the moment, as you know. I'm still long, still waiting, and we'll see what happens. But obviously we've got this weekly 50 MA coming up at 1.157 again, so my target is 1.157 to get out. It was originally this box up here, but that hasn't actually happened, so we now need to readjust what happens. And the weekly 50 MA is really putting pressure on the euro dollar chart, so that's just something to keep in mind for this week. And obviously we do get rejection here. We've got a double top pattern forming as well. So pound yen, you know, I'm not particularly happy with pound yen itself. It's been a pair that I'm not really happy. Let's just look at the weekly chart, for example. Again, this is a sign of, like, you know, two halves. This is putting lower highs, lower lows in clearly, so we can say it's a downtrend at the moment here. I'm sure we can draw a trend line like this across the tops there, like that, something like that area, so you get the idea. But it's a bit messy, but we'll just for the moment leave it like that. I can definitely then show you, for example, your Fibonacci's there, depending on what one would do. If you do it from there, that one, there's a strange low test. So yeah, you are testing the weekly 50 MA, and it's got lower highs, lower lows. But then when you come down to the daily chart, this is why I don't like this pair, guys. The daily 50 MA has been chopping through, broke down, broke back up, then come back down to test it again. It looks bullish this side, bearish on the 144 area. So I'm not happy with pounding. I don't like it. Like I said, if we pull back down to 140. And we get some rejections like we have here on this, I had this inverse head and shoulder pattern, then yes, I would definitely looking to make a buy there, most likely for a short-term buy. If you go to the lower time frames of pound yen, again, this is where it gets confusing, because you've got this 142.5, which has been key in the past. We rejected that up, and then obviously the 4 hour 50 MA was there. Notice how this rising wedge pattern as well happened at the start of this week, so I was right, break down, come back up, test there and break back down. This is what I did kind of expect with some of the pound pairs. Just show you the actual 1 hour chart there for you, so you can see it actually made this like real twisted inverse head and shoulder pattern here type thing. Broke down, come back up, tested 1 hour 50 and moved back down again, so that did happen. So really there's not much I like there, to be quite honest. Now I will look at other pairs as well to give you an idea what I'm looking at as well. There's gold. So I've been long gold for some time now. I was long from here. Notice how the market has moved back up here. It has at the 1320 level. To be quite honest, there's not much resistance there. So again, although this move does need some form of pullback, the daily 50 MA would be my target for a pullback when it does actually happen. If you look at the weekly chart though as well, you can see that obviously the way it's rallied up, you see, but that's not unusual for this, because it could just rally down as well. So definitely now in this half here, every time we get to the above 1305, we always normally reach 1350. And just to show what I mean here, we broke here, we've done it there, we had it there. That's the only time it failed, was there this week here, where it got to 1345, to give you an example there, guys. So the only week it's failed, once it breaks above this 1305, is once. Every other time it breaks above it, it gets to the top, no matter how strange it's been. It's always done that. So bear in mind, gold for 1350 is going to be definitely what I'm looking at. That is my target for the trade that I've got at the moment. That'd be about, for me, about 14,000 pips on this trade, I think it is, or something. I can't remember now, something ridiculous on gold, but that's gold every cent a pip. Lower time frame, just have a look for you guys quickly. 1 hour chart is still trending at the 1 hour 50, which is absolutely immense, really, to be quite honest. Yeah, there's my position here. That's when I've got in there at the moment. Big stop, you know, that's why I'm not too bothered. This target, obviously, as you know, I've told before, is for the $1,800 level, so I do think long term this could do that. I'll scale out the position when it reaches 1350 and then add in later on. So that's what I'm looking for gold at the moment, and there's not really too much I'm going to go into now right on live. Give me one moment, I'll just see what else I can find quickly. I'll say let's look at the market. Keep an eye out on some of the Kiwi pairs for this week as well. The Kiwi looks kind of weak, so let's go for the Kiwis quickly. Aussie Kiwi just chopped around, done nothing, so ignore that one. Euro Kiwi, we're at a key level of 657. If I zoom out for you there, you can see that key level there. Although we got another zone at 6700. 657 has been key 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as well. So this little zone here, let me just highlight that for you. This that one there. This little zone here is key. And the fact we broke down, come here, it looks like it will most likely move up there. Pound Kiwi is very, very similar. There, another key level, 1.89 pretty much there. And you got a low test there. Not the highest volume, but either way, though, you are around by the day 50. Wait for the trend change on the lower time frame, you'll see that. And again, if I show you Kiwi CAD, that started breakdown that has. Kiwi Swiss, you could say you got a little top there. You have moved up, it ran up quite nicely there. So the fact it's got a little inside bar there looks interesting. Kiwi Yen, it's at another level where it's decelerating a little bit, and Kiwi Dollar's got a mini double top pattern there happening as well. So definitely the Kiwi looks like it's be a bit weak, and my personal view would either be Pound Kiwi or Euro Kiwi, long for something Kiwi pairs. Okay guys, take care and I'll speak to you soon.